All right, English 8. I am looking at page 118 in your grammar book. A little bit of review, nouns as appositives and direct address. And if you already know this, do the exercise at the bottom of the page, page 118, exercise A, this one down here. And you don't need to watch this. However, if you need any help reviewing these items, you may listen to this video before you do the exercises. So let's get started. Definition. An appositive is a word that follows a noun and explains or identifies that noun. When it says follows, it means follows right after the noun, and it explains or identifies that noun. For example, look at this sentence. Ketchup is made from tomatoes, period. Ketchup is a popular condiment. So let's combine that information, creating an appositive. Ketchup, a popular condiment, is made from tomatoes. Condiment is an appositive, and it identifies or explains the noun ketchup. This is an appositive phrase. We'll talk more about that below. An appositive may be compound. So two words can make up an appositive. Look at this sample. The condiments mustard and ketchup taste good on hot dogs. Now, these two words are an appositive, and they are explaining the word condiment, both of them. Okay, they're connected by a conjunction and this is not a phrase, this is simply a compound appositive. Let's compare it to a phrase down here with number 3. An appositive phrase is an appositive with all its modifiers. So here's an example. Southern chow chow, a relish made up of cabbage, is sometimes eaten on hot dogs. All right, so look at this sentence. All of this between the commas is an appositive phrase. There's one word that's the appositive. Relish is renaming chow chow or explaining chow chow. And these are relishes modifiers. A, made up of cabbage. So altogether, this is a phrase working together as an appositive. And we're going to set it apart with commas. Point number 4. Non-essential appositives and appositive phrases are set off by commas. Appositives that follow proper nouns are usually non-essential. So here we've got a proper noun. Let's explain that. Proper noun, Tyler. My friend from Seattle. Okay, friend is explaining who Tyler is. And because it's a phrase, and because it follows a proper noun, capitalized, I'm going to set it apart with commas there and there. Okay? Compare it with the next one. My friend Tyler is a chef from Seattle. So friend is a common noun. So since Tyler, the appositive, comes after a common noun, I'm not going to need a comma. All right, I'm going to change colors here because we're changing topics, so to speak. We're going from nouns as appositives to nouns of direct address. So, a noun of direct address is the name of a person to whom a sentence is directed. It is set off by commas all the time. By commas all the time. So let's look at this. For my birthday, Grandma, I would like you to make me a hummingbird cake. Who is this sentence directed to? Of course, it's directed to Grandma. Okay? So, I've got a comma before it. I've got a comma after it. Now, direct address can move around. I could move this over here and I could say, Grandma, for my birthday, I would like you to make me a hummingbird cake. And I would set it apart with a comma. I could move it to the back of the sentence. For my birthday, I would like you to make me a hummingbird cake, Grandma. Okay? In both cases, you're going to set it apart from the rest of the sentence with a comma. Finally, nouns of direct address may also be compound. It is your turn to wash the dishes after dinner. Who am I talking to? Directing this to? Two people, Aiden and Isabella. So a compound noun of direct address, 2 of them. So I'm going to go to the next page. It's the bottom of your page, but I made room for this. All right, we're going to label these as DA or AP for direct address or appositive. If it's an appositive, I'm going to draw an arrow to the word that the appositive identifies or explains, and I'm going to insert commas wherever we need them. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. Hurry, Eric, or we will miss our bus. Who am I talking to in this sentence? Who is it directed to? To Eric. So this is direct address. And I'm always going to set apart direct address with commas. So your book should look like that now. Okay? Lisa, have you met my 2 brothers, Hunter and Hayden? Okay, I've got 2 things going on in this sentence. Let's look at it. Am I directing this to someone? Yes, I'm directing it to Lisa. So this is my noun of direct address. Label it. Set it apart with a comma. And then, have you met my 2 brothers, Hunter and Hayden? These 2 names explain or identify brothers. So I'm going to label them as appositives. This is a compound appositive. It is not an appositive phrase. So no commas needed there. It follows a common noun. Last one I'm going to do with you. Let's read it. William Shakespeare, one of the most influential writers of all time, wrote almost 40 plays and over 150 sonnets. There's no direct address in this sentence. I'm not directing this to anyone. So I'm looking for an appositive. Have you found it? Shakespeare was one of the most influential writers. Okay, so we're going to draw an arrow back to William Shakespeare. And then this whole phrase, all the things describing writer of all time, I'm going to put all that between these commas. All of that explains who Shakespeare is. All right, so that's what you're supposed to do. You've got 4 through 8 to do in your book, and you'll share that a picture of that later on in the week. I think Friday. So that ends this recording on instruction on nouns of direct address and appositives.